Hey, Tribe Up. Salute. Welcome to the House of Cons. I'm Black J. Salute the Manhattan Project in the house. Y'all do me a favor, hit the like. And if you're new, subscribe and share the video. We popping off on the public. On the slow Monday, my naga. I hope everybody doing good. I hope your family doing good. We got 3 people watching. We ought to have 3 likes. Well, at least we got 2. Hit me in the chat. Let me know where you at. Let me know how you feeling. Salute the Manhattan Project and everybody in the house. Salute to all the supporters. Salute to all the Patreon members, man. The Patreon been getting lit, man. If you ain't on Patreon, you missing out, man. We dropping the sources. We dropping the new information on Patreon. You might want to get over there. If you ain't on Patreon, you missing out, my naga. So y'all slide with me on the Patreon. Tribe Up. Only $5 a month, my naga. Or whatever on your heart. Salute. And I got another good show lined up on the public. I'm still fucking with y'all in the public. Even though Nagas don't be supporting, I'm still fucking with Nagas. I do got supporters though. I got loyal supporters. But for the most part, most Nagas ain't supporting. It's time we speak up about it. We don't never support our own. We always support some BS out here. I keep teasing y'all with little tidbits here and there. We're trying to drum up the support. Support your own. Support the ones that support you, my naga. If you want to support the house, we got the Cash App at the top of the screen. Cash.app/$ House of Cons. And we got the Patreon on deck. But anyway, y'all know. I already know. Y'all know. I know. I know y'all know. Ain't nobody over here doing it like this. Ain't nobody on YouTube. Hey, say YouTube failing. Manhattan Project say they failing to send notifications. Yeah, they you know they don't like me, man. YouTube don't like me, man. Straight up, YouTube like don't notify nobody that this naga is on the air. I got fishing rods hanging all across the view. Hold on. Y'all know I'm an outdoorsman, right? They like, yeah, don't send nobody no notification for that House of Cons. He talk too much. He do too many videos, and he know a little too much. So I already know they be blocking notifications. What you basically got to do, cause I got other YouTube channels too, and I done set up to get notifications on. But the House of Cons don't notify nobody when I drop. You know, you really just kind of got to check in every now and then. You know, you got to just go on into the little search, throw in House of Cons. Basically, they gonna shadow ban this kind of shit. It is what it is. We ain't got our own platform, so we really can't do nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? The only thing we could do about it is to build our own platform. But I ain't about to get into all that. We got the good show lined up, and if you look at the thumbnail from a third eye point of view, the title of the show is quote unquote Native Americans never talk about this. And I had a different thumbnail on the main screen, but I switched it up because you know it's a lot I want to cover sometimes, and man, I could stay on this thing all night, man, if I really try to get into everything. But you know we can't do that. So sometimes I might use 2 thumbnails to get a message across and might switch it up. But the primary thumbnail, I'm gonna put it up real quick. So if we look at the primary thumbnail we're using for this video, it's this one right here. Just making some comparisons. That's the primary thumbnail we're using. Let me go to my community post so I can really pull it up. Native Americans never talk about this, the title of the show. And I just basically comparing 2 images in a collage, my naga. 2 separate images in a collage. We don't gotta get into where the images come from. They Americans, we know. It don't even matter no more to be talking about, ooh, what window is this statue by? What about that one? What forest is that statue? He ain't even know. That's irrelevant now at this point. It's irrelevant to say where it come from. The fact that it exists is enough. But we looking at two different images and we comparing them. They look very similar, very, very similar. We see the red, white, and blue. Naga feathered up, feather skirts. See shields in the picture, man. The shields are tight, man. When I see this kind of stuff, man, it make me want to walk around with shields all the time, like for no reason. You know what I'm saying? Well, I guess it is a reason if you really, it is a reason. But when I see these images like this, like I always been a fan of this brother right here. This blackjack in the form of life right here. If y'all ain't know, this the old blackjack. Like this shield, I've been trying to find me a shield like this. I might end up just having to make me one. Hey, Legend of Naga Charlie in the house. Try buck, salute. Yeah, I always been a fan of this Naga. I believe this Naga one of my great granddaddies or something. He gotta be. Naga gotta be kin to me somehow. Then I see this Naga shield, and I'm like equally impressed. I'm like, man, that shield is amazing. The red, white, and blue looks awesome. Those are our colors. Hey, you know it's funny, they try to steal our colors too. I ain't surprised by nothing they doing now, boy. I know they tried to steal our colors. They stole the red, white, and blue and all. But Native Americans don't talk about this kind of stuff. That's the main thumbnail. But then I flipped the script though. On the intro. On the intro screen, I popped a whole nother thumbnail up. I like to get a Naga to thinking. That must say a carved, polychrome, painted, wooden, African American, tobacconist countertop, trade figure. Well, let's slow down for a minute. Let's just soak that in for a minute. Let that marinate. I'm gonna say an African American. That word ain't even exist back then. But the telling thing is that the person who put the details on this, they knew that word ain't exist back then, but they just was observing what they saw and they said, hey man, that's an African American. And they put it in the title. It's hilarious to me, man. It's funny, man, because like I say, man, sometimes evidence just pile on top of each other, man. And people deny, but you can't deny all this, man. You can't deny the fact that they calling the Indian the African American, and it ain't the only one. You know what I'm saying? And then I popped that off just to let people see. So when I show you this, somebody running here talking about it's African, you'll be like, hell nah, them ain't no Africans, them American Indians. We know, because we just looked at it. We know anyway over here. When I'm just playing the naive game, like I'm just acting as if I was dumb or naive. Somebody will say, hey, these are Africans. And I'm gonna say, no. You may call them African Americans, but I don't think those guys from Africa. They dress the same way this guy is, and he's a tobacco Indian. They're saying tobacco African American, African American, Negro, Indian, same thing, So it don't really matter, I guess. It don't. American Indian, African American, Negro, same thing. Don't even really matter which one you use at this point. But I wanted to point that out, just to point a few things out from a third eye point of view. I like to let things marinate, think about stuff. It's just one more piece. But it's just funny to me, man. It's funny to me what the historical narrative say, and then what everybody believe, and all this other stuff. But the truth just keep rearing this ugly head. Like the truth just keep on over and over sticking this ugly head out. And I know they get mad. Like, dang, we thought we had them. Like, so even if you just, this was so funny about it all, y'all. All right. Let's say suppose the Indians, the Native Americans was the real Indians. suppose the Indians wasn't African Americans, right? All right, let's suppose that. Let's go to Google. And we're going to just type in carved and painted wooden African American. Tobacconist, carved and painted wooden African American tobacconist. And before we even look at all this written down here, let's just click on images and see what they show us. Oh, yeah. Hey, they know the jig is up. They know the jig is up so bad That they can't even hide it, man. You put in card, wood, and African American tobacco in this. What is pulling up? What is pulling up? It even gonna pull up a fictitious red man. They know the African American is the Indian. If the African American wasn't the Indian, why they pulling this up? Why they pulling up the fake Indian? If we wasn't the real Indians, why they even pull the fake one up in that search? I ain't put in nothing about an Indian. I put in African American. And look at this. What, lo and behold, cigar store Indian. You type in wooden African American tobacco statue and cigar store Indian come up. You know? Say we shouldn't let labels divide us. Yeah, we shouldn't let labels divide us. But the labels are already in existence. And it ain't even about dividing us. It's about us understanding the labels and the trickery. See, the labels wasn't even set to divide us. The labels was designed to trick black people out their identity. It wasn't designed to divide people. Yeah, division gonna come. But the labels were designed to steal black people's identity, so-called black people. That's what the labels was for. The African American, the black, it was designed to take the Indians' land. That's what it was designed for. And we just been proving it over and over again. Now that we looking at African Americans, we just single them out. This one here, 18th century card and wood, painted wood cigar store, countertop tobacconist figure. Now, he came up in the African American search. Let's see what the description says about him. Additional details. Carved and painted wood store, countertop tobacconist figure, late 18th century, late 1700s. The full body in black Indian. Standing tall, wearing a headdress and feathered skirt. Holding a spear. Yeah, just like my guy here. These are our ancestors. And we don't appreciate people trying to steal our identity and our ancestors and take credit for it, and our land on top of that. So-called African American. And the word didn't even exist in the 1700s. That's why they tell you right now he's just a black painted Indian. A black Indian. Carved in polychrome painted wooden African American. Tobacco countertop trade figure Indian Native American. Yeah, all that in one. You know? Hey, Anthony Barnett in the house, trial book. We taking our identity back. We don't care who like it or not. The information is here. We're going to discuss it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to go over it. We're going to identify our ancestors. No matter who likes it or not, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. Because it's ours. It belongs to us. Just like the land of America belongs to us for eternity. We're going to talk about it over and over and over again. So I got 10,000 videos. I got material. Don't worry. I got material. I got plenty fresh, never before seen material. Plenty of it. Another one, polychrome. This is a whole different. Polychrome painted wooden African American tobacco discount. This is a whole different one. They called him an African American too. And it's funny because, like, it's many ways that you can identify these as us and our people. I mean, just like this medallion that you commonly see on them. It's so many ways, the long pipe he's smoking. It's so many ways to identify that this is our ancestors. But they took the pipe out of his hand, they broke it off. He still got his tobacco roll though, and he got his medallion on. This is a whole different one. Whole different one than this one. Both of them being called African Americans. Both of them. So we know we're looking at our ancestors. We know the so-called African American is the American Indian. We know this. We know the African American is the true American. Salute. Now we got descendants of colonizers claiming to be Americans, but when it comes down to it, if a polar bear is born in the woods, he's not a grizzly bear. He's still a polar bear. If a descendant of a colonizer is born in America, they are not Americans. They are the descendants of the colonizers from the land whence they came. Now right here, we on Axios.com. Cherokee Nation. Yeah, we done did a lot of talking about the Cherokee. Wants federal law fixed for black tribal citizens. March 31st, 2024. This was printed yesterday. I'm going to talk about it. Before we talk about it, though, while we was looking at these telltale cigar store Indians, so telling these cigar store African American, black people, Indians, same thing. That's why when we look at these images, these collages I put together, you got to understand what we're looking at. You have to understand what you're seeing. When you see your granddaddy with a feather in his hat with that pipe he be smoking on, he honoring his ancestors, whether he know it or not, whether you know it or not. It's ingrained in him genetically. It's handed down through his hereditary. I don't see any red men rocking out like this. I don't see any fictitious Dawes Road Cherokee rocking out like this. I only see black people doing it. So I know who the real Indians is. I know a tobacco Indian when I see one. No matter if he's assimilated. But he's still holding his culture. Or if he tribed up. I'm looking at the same thing and I know it. And can't nobody tell me different. Can't nobody tell me that he's any different than this guy. Let me say this loud and clear. If you think this guy is any different than that guy or this guy, you an ignorant dumbass. And I don't care if you watch another video. If you think if you on my channel right now and you think this is any different than this, you an ignorant dumbass and you ain't welcome over here. You know what I'm saying? I have to say stuff like this sometimes to let people know where I stand, man. I draw my line in the sand and I stand on it. We are looking at our ancestors. And the jig is up, and we ain't taking other people's opinion. We don't even really care what the Cherokee Nation got to say. We know it's us and not them. He looks nothing like this. He looks nothing like this. He looks absolutely nothing like this. They got the nerve to talk about who they letting in and out the tribe. Chuck Hoskins Jr., principal chief. How he the principal chief of the Cherokee Nation? This fake $5 wannabe. He's not an American Indian. He's not indigenous to America at all. And nobody in the background. One of the nation's largest so-called indigenous tribes is seeking to change a 140-year-old federal law that governs criminal jurisdiction of tribal citizens on reservations based on blood quantum. Why it matters. The move by the Cherokee Nation comes as the Oklahoma tribe is welcoming the descendants of so-called formerly enslaved black people. Okay, so they're saying that they enslaved these black people. Hold up. Wasn't American Indians enslaved? Wasn't the real Indians enslaved? Didn't the real American Indians enslave each other? Didn't the real American Indians enslave each other? The real American Indians enslaved no Africans. They bought no African slaves. No Africans escaped and joined the Indians. They were Indians. Some Native American tribes held war captives as slaves prior to and during European colonization. Some Native Americans were captured and sold by others into slavery to Europeans, while others were captured and sold by Europeans themselves. Europeans were not capturing Africans. They were capturing Native Americans. Native Americans were capturing Native Americans and enslaving them. So any slave owned by a Native American is not an African. Any black, so-called black slave is not an African. He's an American Indian. We will go over this a million times. I don't care. That's why it matters. Why it matters? Because the Cherokee Nation, they know the House of Cons and other people are on YouTube exposing it. So they backtracking now. They say, hold up, we better go on and accept them back in. Maybe it'll quiet them down. Maybe y'all freedmen. No, we not. No, we not. Don't call us freedmen. We the Indians. Yeah, we'll let y'all back in. Y'all freedmen. No, bitch. We on y'all neck now. The big picture. The challenge to the Federal Major Crimes Act also comes as more indigenous tribes assert themselves over issues of sovereignty, political representation, and how they should define who is a tribal member. How you gonna define? You don't get to define who is tribe. What gives you the audacity to think that what gives you the unmitigated gall to think you get to decide who is tribe? Zoom in. Cherokee Nation Principal Chief, Fire Chief Chuck Hoskin Jr. tells Axios the tribe is asking Congress to revamp the 1885 federal law that focuses on Indian blood. A racial category many tribes now shun. Why are you shunning Indian blood? Because you know Indian blood is really Negro blood, it's really African American blood. Is that why you're shunning it? Because you're finna become a victim of the very discrimination that you created because the truth is coming out? This blood quantum discrimination that you created now is going to eliminate you because the truth is coming out. Yeah, it's divisive, all right. It's divisive, all right. Federal courts have interpreted that law to require tribal citizens charged in criminal cases on tribal land to have a certain blood quantum. What, you got to be very black? For this to be correct, for them to assert you have to have a certain amount of blood quantum, well, you better be a certain amount of this. You talking about blood quantum, you talking about darkness. Because we are the originals. Federal courts interpret that law to require tribal citizens charged in criminal cases on tribal land to have a certain amount of blood quantum to be prosecuted in federal or tribal court instead of state. Hoskins says the law discriminates Cherokee citizens of freedmen descent. You can't make this up. These very same people that told you was an African slave, told you wasn't an Indian, tried to kick you off the road, they know the truth coming out. Now they saying, no, we'll let the freedmen back in. Oh, it's discriminating against the freedmen. You really think they give a shit about your black ass? They don't give a shit about you. They're saying these things because they know the truth is spreading. And they bust it. It's about the United States respecting tribal sovereignty. No, it ain't. It's about the United States finding out that the jig is up and black people starting to find out that they really descend from American Indians and people over here trying to steal our land. They still colonizing America in 2024. They over there trying to take over Haiti and they bringing migrant border crossers and all this stuff going on. Still colonizing our land. Frankly, catching up with the Cherokee Nation in terms of equality for all of our citizens, including Cherokee citizens of freedmen descent. We ain't the freedmen. We the true Nagas. See, all this different stuff, man. All these labels, distractions. Yeah, it ain't y'all. Yeah, it's y'all. We see what's going on. The Supreme Court ruled in 2020 that a larger portion of eastern Oklahoma falls within an indigenous reservation. Eastern Oklahoma? What? You mean Oklahoma that had over 50 all-black towns on Indian reservation? That's what you mean? And then it had 0 all-red man towns, but it got over 50 all-black towns, including Tulsa. But some black tribal members are still being prosecuted because they lack Indian blood. Yeah. According to the New York Times, look at that. They put according to. They lack Indian blood. They lack Indian blood according to the New York Times. Yeah, but according to Blackjack, though, these Nagas is the Indian. And damn, according to Blackjack, according to real history, the Naga is the Indian. You can't hide this. You can't destroy all the tobacco in all the one. You can't destroy all these original tobacco niggas. Because they cost the most. They the most valuable. That's why you can't even destroy them and hide them and say, see, it wasn't no nigga Indians. You can't even do it. Because the originals cost the most. The artifacts cost the most. You can't hide the old tobacco ads that show the truth. You cannot hide this history. You cannot hide the maps that show the truth. It is history. You can't hide this. The jig is up. The U.S. government know it. The internet did it. They shouldn't have let the whole world connect with the internet. It's their fault. Once they let the worldwide connection go down with the internet, it's their fault. They should have known knockers like me was going to tell everybody the truth. They should have known. That's why they shadow banning me. That's why you don't get my notifications. That's why this channel don't grow. I got other channels with less than 100 subscribers getting 20,000 views on one video. And the channel ain't even 10 days damn old. That's a shame that I can make a whole new channel 10 days old and I can get 20,000 views on one video and I ain't even got 100 subscribers on that channel that I shall not mention over here so they don't go over there and try to shadow ban me there too. But my main channel, 3,500 damn subscribers and I can't even get 300 views. I know what they doing. I'm a little too aggressive over here. I let too much of the real me show over here. And man, y'all support the house, man. You know, I got paid to teach professionally, right? You know, I made $80,000 a year teaching at a time. Support the house. Nice for support. Ain't because I need it. It's because I deserve it, my nigga. I deserve it. Support the house. House of Cons at the bottom of the screen. Cash.app/$ House of Cons. I don't have to teach for free. I can go get paid to teach again tomorrow. So we're going to give you the truth over here. We ain't sugarcoating shit. And we don't care about other people's feelings either. We don't really care. Tiffany LaSalle in the house. Tri-Board salute. Mo Naga in the house. Tri-Board salute. Cons pulling up in this thing. Cons pulling up in here. They ain't gonna continue to deny us of our ancestors, man. I get very offended. I wanna, honestly, man, when I be denied of my ancestry, I feel like killing. I feel like murder. I feel like a 187. You know, the ultimate disrespect to me is lying about my identity. And when I feel like you're lying about my identity on my land, about my ancestors, I feel like all your descendants can die and burn in hell. That's where we at with it. So, if people want to have a conversation, it better be an honest one. The time's high because we tired of bullshitting. We tired of bullshitting around. We had it up to here. Y'all see us out here drilling each other. Don't think that energy can go towards a colonizer. Don't think the colonizer descendants. Don't think the little white people running around and the migrants. Don't think y'all can't get none of this King Von Drill energy. All it's going to take is an educated populace, and it's going to happen. The Times highlighted the case involving Michael J. Hill, a black citizen of the Cherokee Nation, who got into an altercation with police on tribal land. Yeah, go figure. He sought to have a case dismissed, arguing that as a tribal member in tribal territory, state officials were outside the state's criminal jurisdiction. They need to take that back to Europe. But courts ruled he didn't have enough Indian blood to make the claims. See. State of play. The Cherokee Nation Supreme Court ruled in 2021 that freedmen have the right of tribal citizenship, and the tribe soon approved change. Now it's 2024 and they still talking about this bullshit, the same old shit, this story over and over again. Arresting Nagas on the reserve, talking about Indian blood and all this. You said this same story. You said the same damn story about, goddamn it, King Blue. You said the same story about King Blue. You wanted to arrest him. You wanted to kick him off the reserve in 1894, and it's 2024, and we still going through this. We still going through this shit. King Blue, Negro Indian leader, huh? I thought he was a red man. No, King Blue, the Negro Indian leader. You sure it wasn't no red man, Blackjack? You sure that got a fitted cap with them feathers? You sure what? You sure King Blue wasn't a red man? You sure he wasn't a Dawes Road Cherokee, Blackjack? We still going through the same shit from 1894. Negro Indians in rebellion, like Blackjack. Blackjack in the spirit of rebellion. That's why you don't get the notifications. You got to check in with the House of Cons every now and then. You never know what we doing. King Blue's followers on a marauding tour. We talked about this before over here. We'll remind you once again. Terror in the Chickasaw Nation. A band, they say King Blue was a terror. They call Naga terror. A band tied up the postmaster and his wife at Stonewall, released by neighbors. Many Indian citizens mistreated. The Chickasaw government will move them from the reservation. Maltreated. See, maltreated, not mistreated. Wichita, Kansas. Wichita, Monaga. Like the Washita, Wichita. September 19th, a dispatch from Stonewall in the Chickasaw Nation brings information to the effect that King Blue, the leader of the Chickasaw Negro Indians, is in open rebellion. The insurrectionists have gone on a marauding tour and are terrorizing the Indian citizens. They terrorizing the red men, the fake one. See, you see what's going on?
Your $5 ass down before I make change.
Especially the squaws. Last Saturday, the band headed by King Blue swept down on the farm of George H. Truex, postmaster at Stonewall. The Indians came to the farm at noon when Truex, a white man, and his squaw were led from the house and bound with a rope and held prisoners. King Blue and his band then proceeded to destroy everything in the house. They could not eat and drink, and after satisfying themselves, they rolled off howling and swearing. Neighbors of Truex and his wife came and released them. Other Indians have been similarly treated, and the eastern part of the Chickasaw Nation is in a state of terror. See, this is what the United States about to be in. Y'all keep denying us. We finna terrorize all y'all. The Chickasaw government is thinking of taking steps to put the marauders out of the county, and they have authority to do so under the United States law or the Chickasaw laws. The Negro Indians have no legal rights to lands of the nation and are not even adopted citizens. King Blue is an old man. He's still very strong though. Physically. Man, this is funny, man. They say he old, but he's strong. They say this nigga still can swing on you. Hey, and is a natural leader of surprising tact. They say he's a very tactful leader. They say they love to follow King Blue. He was chosen king of the Negro Indians shortly after the war, and he exercised an absolute tyranny over his followers. King Blue, he wasn't no tyrant over the Negroes. They loved King Blue. He was the absolute ruler. They had to love him. He was a tyrant over the red man Indians. They got other articles on it. We went over this before. Here go another newspaper that wrote about it. Junk kind of funny, man, because some newspapers, they was being kind of funny with it. Rockland County, look, leading a band of the Negro Indians. All manner of depredations being committed. White men were whooped.
Sit your $5 ass down before I make
I know this why y'all don't be getting my notifications. YouTube don't be liking this shit I be doing with this shit here. They be like, man, ain't nobody exposed King Blue to black. This another Blackjack House of Cons first. Ain't nobody on the YouTube. You ain't never heard of King Blue till you came over here. Just be honest about it. I know already. You know what I'm saying? I know, because ain't nobody talk about it. I already searched. But yeah, white men will, you know what I'm saying, and women, they ain't gonna teach you this in school. They're not gonna teach your kids this. They teach your kids that you came from Africa like on Shaka Zulu, and the white man was whipping you. Many indignities, and somebody else was the Indian. This ain't your land. Indian police in pursuit of the marauders in Wichita, Kansas, September 29th. King Blue, ruler of the Negro Indians in the neighborhood of Stonewall, Chickasaw Nation. See, you can't hide this history, man. You can try to call us. You can go on here all you want to and try to rearrange history, even though African American ain't exist back then. You can write in African American tobacco all you want to, man. You ain't gonna be able to hide this old ass newspaper article of true history from 1894. You keep lying, it don't matter, because the lies actually help us. I'm glad when y'all be lying and y'all going hijack, because it just prove our case even more. When you lie and you hijack and you write in African American in here, all that's telling me is that you know this is us. You know the Indians was us. When you write in, when you gotta try to hide the fact, you gotta go here. You know you can't repaint them red. You know you can't turn that hair to long straight hair. So you say, you know what? We can't change his hair. We can't change the skin. It's an artifact. Let's just go ahead and take our Indian and put in African American. You just telling on yourself that you know it's us. That's all you doing. That's all you doing. All you doing is telling on yourself. Indians, no Indian had long straight hair. No Indian was red or white. They were black. They were very black and nappy headed. They looked like what you would call the African. That's the truth, and you can't hide it. It's the jig is up. Hey man, I ain't gonna hold y'all too long. I got some other shit to do. I gotta drop about 5 videos on 5 other channels I got, y'all. I ain't letting everybody know what these channels is on this channel, cause I know as soon as I start talking about my other channels on here, they gonna shadow ban me over there too. So man, I don't know, man. I gotta drop on these other channels. I got channels getting 20,000 views on one video. Video getting 20,000 views in 3 days and shit. This is crazy. Well, man, I appreciate y'all, man. If y'all want to support the House of Cons, we're gonna keep the House of Cons coming, though. We just doing it different, man. Hit us up on the Cash App, cash.app/$ House of Cons, man. And if you want the content on a more consistent basis, join the Patreon, because that's where it's going down at. It's going down on Patreon, Managa. Join the Patreon if you want that old flow, old school blackjack coming at you all the time with something new all the time. Something new all the time, man. Not just every now and then. Not just never having something new. Something new all the time, Managa. If you want to deal with that, I suggest you join the Patreon, Managa. Patreon, it'll be well worth your $5 a month, Managa. Patreon, we ain't got no chump ass Patreon, my nigga. Our Patreon be poppin'. Salute to the Patreon family. All the Patreon family in the house, salute, my nigga. Tribe Bus, salute to you. But if you ain't on Patreon, go ahead and join, man. I'm Blackjack, this House of Cons. We out. Peace. Hey, before we close out, salute to the big time supporter, Michaela Rasan for the $10 cash out. Salute to Charles Gordon for the $5 cash out, man. I appreciate all the support. Much love to the tribe. Salute. Hey, my nigga Charlie, my bad, bro, my bad. Hey, I got it. Hey, when y'all see it cash outs on the cash out donation, send a message to remind me not to say your government name. Send a message to remind me, y'all. I'm on the live show. I'm just reading from the stuff, man. I'm trying to make sure I give love to the supporters. But send me a note if you don't want me to say your government, to make sure I don't say your government. Peace, y'all.